Assalamu alaikum students. Today we will discuss a classification of animals according to coelom. Student, coelom is a fluid filled cavity present between the body wall and digestive system. It is also called as body cavity. Now, what are different types of animals according to coelom? There are three kinds of animals: Acylomates, Pseudocoelomates, and Coelomates with reference to coelom. Now we will discuss each of these categories one by one. First of all, Acylomates. Students, as I told you earlier, that a zygote is single cell. It divides repeatedly by mitotic division and it forms different cells. These cells, they arrange themselves in the form of different layers. Outermost layer is called as ectoderm, which is involved in the formation of nervous system, skin, etc. later on. And mesoderm that is involved in the formation of muscles and skeleton, while endoderm that is involved in the formation of digestive system, reproductive system, excretory system, etc. Now, student, acylomates are animals in which there is no body cavity or coelom present. You can see this is digestive cavity and it doesn't have any coelom around it. So these animals which are without coelom, we call them acylomates. A means without, coelom means coelomates means coelom, so they are without any coelom, that's why we call them acylomates. Flatworms are Platy Helminthes. The word platy is for flat or plate-like animals, and helminths means worms. So flatworms, they are also called as Platy Helminthes. So they are what? They are acylomates. Second now you can see different layers. Outer is ectoderm, middle one is mesoderm, and innermost is called as what? Endoderm. Now the other category is of pseudocoelomates. Student, if the body cavity develops between the mesoderm and endoderm, this layer is the one which is showing in green, that is endoderm. Mesoderm and endoderm, when it is having a space or body cavity between it, then it is called as what? Pseudocoelom. The word pseudo means false, so it is a coelom, but it is a false coelom. Now, why do we call it false coelom? Because a true coelom is a coelom which is surrounded both from all the sides with mesodermal cells. As here in this case, you can see the inner side of the coelom that is surrounded by endodermal cells, so we cannot call it a true coelom. That's why it is called as what? Pseudocoelom. Now, animals included in this category, they are roundworms or nematodes. Next, third kind of organisms according to the coelom, they are called as what? Coelomates. Now you can see this is outermost layer ectoderm, this one is mesoderm, and this innermost is called as what? Endoderm. Now you can see here is a coelom, and this coelom that is linked with the mesodermal cells, and now you can see there is a connection between the two mesodermal layer, and this layer is also of mesodermal cells. Now this layer, now you can see like coelom here, it is surrounded from all the sides with what? With mesodermal cells. This one is, these are mesodermal cells, and this one layer is also mesodermal cells. And inner to the mesodermal cell is what? Endodermal layer, and this is what? Digestive cavity. Now this is called as what? True coelom, and Group of animals which are included in this category, they are mollusk. Mollusk are soft-bodied animals. Then arthropods, like those animals which are having joint legs, are having joints in their legs, like insects, prawns, lobsters, crabs, centipedes, millipedes. They are included in this category. In mollusk, they are soft-bodied animals, like their soft body that is enclosed inside a shell, like mollusk, snail, etc. Then annelids, in this group of animals, earthworm, leech, etc. they are included. Then echinoderms are those animals which are having spiny skins, because the word echino means spiny and derm means skin. And like starfish, brittle star, etc. they are included in this category. And last, chordates, all the animals bearing a true vertebral column and internal skeleton, they are included in this category. So chordates, they are included in coelomates. Now student, we will discuss division of chordates. Students, chordates, they can be divided into two groups, one protostomes and the other one deuterostomes. Student, the word pro means first and stomium means mouth. As in this case, mouth that develops earlier as compared to that of the anus, that's why we call them what, protostomes. And the word deutero means second and stomes means mouth. In that category, mouth that develops later. Now students, as I told you earlier that when zygote it starts dividing, it forms number of cells and a ball of cells that appear after repeated mitotic division, which is called as what, blastula. Student, this blastula, cells from this blastula, they start migrating inward and they form an opening which is called as what, blastopore. This opening is called as what, blastopore. And in like in most of the animals, like in mollusk, arthropods, annelids, etc., this blastopore, that is that forms mouth, while opposite to it anus that is formed. Okay, and while in the other case, sorry student, this is not division of chordates, but actually this is division of coelomates. Coelomates, they are divided into two categories. And this one is called as what, so in like, what are the differences between protostomes and deuterostomes? As I told you earlier, that in protostomes, a blastopore that forms mouth, while in deuterostomes, mouth is formed from the other side of the blastopore, from the opposite side, and the blastopore that develops into what, into anus. Then cleavage. Here in this case, like when zygote it starts dividing, cleavage is what, spiral. You can see here cells, they are spirally arranged, means cells, they are not upon each other but they are arranged what, spirally. And this pattern of cleavage is determinate. Now why do we call it determinate? Because fate of each cell that is determined. You can forecast fate of each cell, that this cell that will later on form what kind of organ. While in this case, you can see cleavage, that is what, radial. Cells, they are radially arranged on each other. And indeterminate, you cannot forecast fate of cells before. You cannot forecast fate of cells. Okay, next is fate of blastopore. Here in this case, protostomes, blastopore that is involved in the formation of mouth, while anus that is formed from the opposite side. While in case of deuterostomes, blastopore that is involved in the formation of anus, and mouth that is formed on the opposite side. Then formation of coelom. Student, in this case, coelom that is formed by splitting of the mesoderm. In case of protostomes, mesodermal layer that splits into two and it forms what? Coelom. While in case of deuterostomes, coelom is formed by the outpocketing or outpouching of primitive gut. Now student, primitive gut is a gut which is formed during developmental stages and which is involved in the process of digestion during embryonic stages, and this primitive gut that outpouches to the outside. Now you can see these are pouches are outpocketing of the primitive gut, and which is involved in the formation of what? Coelom. Then examples of protostomes are mollusk, annelids and arthropods, while examples of deuterostomes, they are echinoderms and chordates. So this is all about what? Classification of animals according to what? Coelom. Thank you, students.